Anybody see anything funky there? If you know carriers, how do you change the belt? How do you get to the electrical section to do a startup on the unit?
This video is brought to you by Sportland. Quality, integrity, and tradition.
Got an emergency service call for an exhaust fan not working. And this is what we find. You guys see how the wheel's not moving? That's not good. That's not good at all. The whole wheel slid off of the bottom of the shaft. What the heck, man? That's insane. Totally came off the bottom. Let's hope there's nothing I can do about this tonight. That's insane. The whole freaking thing slid off. What the heck? I've never seen that before. This is pretty retarded if you ask me. So this is like their new hub. And I'm assuming when you tighten it down, it compresses like a split taper and holds the shaft. And obviously it didn't do a good job because it fell out. You can see where there was a key before, but it also looks like something shifted. This whole thing shifted. What the actual fudge, man? Dang it. I don't even know. It's crazy. Man, it's 8:30 at night. This looks like a two-person job for sure, but alright, I'm gonna get in there and try to move that hub apart. So it looks like, I don't know how, but it just must have come loose. I was able to get it back on the wheel, and then now I gotta get the key in there. I was starting to separate the hub, but I decided not to, so I'm gonna pull these back out in time. I'm hoping it'll cinch it down once I slide a key in there. It doesn't look like there's any damage of all things. That's weird, it just like dropped. Never seen, but I'm worried that this is twisted off though. Okay, update. I can't get the key to go in far enough, and I thought I saw what was remnants of a set screw when I had it all apart, and that's the truth. I could see it from over here, right in here. It's gonna be hard for you guys to see it, but there's a set screw in the side of that hub. Tiny little set screw. Good grief, getting this thing on. Oh man, I don't know if the set screw came out completely. Yeah, there's only one set screw, and I have a feeling it just came loose, and then the key dropped, and then the whole shaft dropped, or then the whole wheel dropped. How am I gonna get in there to get to that set screw? Okay, so I was able to get the set screw loose, which is tripping me out. I got my long-handled Allen's, and I was able to get it loose, but for some reason I can't tighten it. So either it's stripped out, or it might be metric. I can't see it being metric because these ones down here are not metric. But for whatever reason, I cannot tighten it. So I got the hub all tightened back down, but I can't tighten down on the dang set screw. And the key keeps moving. That damn set screw has got to be stripped out. That's crazy, man. I cannot get anything on it. I tried different Allens too, and I cannot get anything on it. There's no way they use a metric. What the heck, man? That is so crazy. I mean, I tightened that hub down as tight as I could so it pancakes in there, but eventually it's gonna drop again. But I don't think there's much more I can do about it tonight. I think the best way to do this really is we gotta take the fan apart and access the wheel and then look at that hub. What I'll probably do is call GREENHECK and order that hub, and then just have a new one with me and hope that the thing makes it. It's running now, but I'm worried that that key is going to drop back out because I can't get the set screw down on it. But I tightened up on that hub as much as I could to try to compress it, and I yanked on the wheel. It doesn't slide down. Well, they're only going to be open for another hour, so this should get them through the night. We'll have to, maybe we'll send someone out here to follow up tomorrow, make sure the wheel hasn't lowered down at all. And I'm going to have to call GREENHECK in the morning and order that hub. Okay, we are back this morning. We have got a new wheel for this exhaust fan. I got the manufacturer actually to send me out a new wheel under warranty of all things. They're not going to cover the labor, of course, but so we're going to get started on this. We came out early this morning. It's about 6 a.m. right now. So that way we can get a good jump on it before all the cooks get in the kitchen and stuff. So first and foremost, we shut off power to the exhaust fan. So we're going to literally pull this whole thing apart into pieces. So turn the power off. We're going to pull all the electrical out and start disassembling the whole fan to get to the wheel on the bottom. Before we go too crazy though, we are going to verify that everything is correct. So I'm going to get down there and measure just before we rip the whole thing apart. These things really aren't that difficult to figure out. Once you get the electrical out, you just start looking at it. There's some screws that hold this top piece in right here. And then this piece has to come out. Once you get that off, then you just start paying attention to how to get to the wheel and stuff. So these things really aren't bad at all. So we're gonna work on getting this piece out right now so this cone can completely come up. We got the outer cone off. This whole assembly is loose now, but we're gonna go ahead and pull the motor. Super easy, we just pull the whole switch and these 4 bolts right here, so that way it makes it lighter and easier to flip over. Then we'll flip the wheel over and get a better look at it. All right, we just pulled the housing, pulled the motor out right there, pulled the housing, flipped it over so we can get an eyeball on the wheel. And I don't know, this is what I'm concerned about, how you can see that mark. Like, it looks like something turned, but it could just be the way that it spins. Regardless though, when I talked to tech support about what happened, they said, no, we'll send you a wheel just to be safe. All right, we're going to get this guy loose and then start pulling it apart. We're also gonna make note as to the placement so it's almost flush with the shaft. So we'll make sure we pay attention to that. We're gonna force this apart because this is a taper bushing. So we take these guys out of these 2 holes, push them in the other ones, and we're gonna separate the hub basically. All right, GREENHECK, I love your guys' fans, but this is a bit ridiculous. I gotta tell you guys because you have to hear this. There's a set screw right down there. But notice, it's not a straight shot from the top of the wheel. It's like in. So how am I supposed to get to that? How are techs in the field supposed to get to that set screw to pull the key out? It's a bit ridiculous if you ask me, all the way in there. Come on guys, you gotta think about the tech when you guys design this stuff. All right, we got everything apart. While we were separating it, the dang key fell down again. That's why you gotta be careful about this stuff. I keep a universal key kit. It's got all the different sizes in it. I think I got it from a supply house, but I'm sure you guys can look up that number right there. All right, we're gonna get this guy put back together and try to get it tightened up and torqued properly. All right, this was ridiculous. We have 2 people here. This took us about 15 minutes to get that set screw tightened. It's a tiny set screw, tiny. And here's the problem. Again, GREENHECK, I love your fans. But why did you do that indentation on the top of the wheel? That is the problem. If you didn't do that indentation, then I could have used a long shank. Well, actually I couldn't have because it's an oddball size and I don't have a long shank for it, but it still would have made it easier. I had to fight with one hand through here, quarter turns at a time to get that tightened. So now I have it torqued down, and my original belief was that wasn't torqued all the way from the factory. I still haven't figured out what happened with this and why this wheel, came apart. But anyways, we've got it back together now. We're gonna do one more torque down on everything, and then we're gonna start assembling the fan. When the fan's all back together, you can never get them absolutely perfect, but I'm able to eyeball it and like really look at it and get good alignment going on. But I did have to shim the motor because the motor pitched back a little bit. Again, you'll never get it this perfect. So what we do is we put tension on it, just snug on just one side, okay? Tighten the bolts. Then you come over to this side and you can actually torque everything down. Look, see when I pull it, it tensions it up even more. But then you're only fighting one side. Now we still haven't bolted it down or anything, but yeah, so we'll put the tension on it and then tighten everything down. And actually that's pretty good right there. All right, so this is the old wheel, and I don't know, did the hub thing shift, or is that just the pattern of the grease? Like if you look at it, and if you even look at these screws, it looks like they shifted on the rivets, I should say. It looks like they shifted too. But when you flip it over, there's no movement, it doesn't look like on this side. So I don't know. That's a trip. I think it shifted. I think that this whole piece right here shifted and the rivets didn't. What would be interesting, they're not asking for this wheel back, so it would be interesting to grind the rivets off and see below if the holes are elongated. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I don't know though, because like I don't know how I'm gonna get in there to grind it though. That's kind of tricky. I don't know. I mean, I guess I can maybe see where it might have shifted up here too. I don't know. That's weird. Oh well, I don't think this one's worth ripping it apart too far. We're just about done wiring this guy back in. We've got it all back together, pieces in. We're just wiring in the electrical, getting that all fitted. So, and then we'll be ready to start it up here in a minute. I looked at another exhaust fan, that one right there, and it's doing the same thing. So I don't think that it's shifting, but that is a trip, huh? Because it looks like that hub shifted. I don't think it's shifting. I just think that the key wasn't tightened from the factory. It fell out, and yeah, so. But we're about to start this guy back up right now. We're gonna go ahead and bump start it, check rotation. That's the correct rotation. There's a rotational arrow down here. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and let it run for a few minutes, and then we're gonna torque down all the screws again. Running, all is good, so we're gonna let it run for a few minutes, and like I said, I'll torque them down and we're gonna call this one done. One last thing, I gotta give you guys props, GREENHECK, because as I'm taking a picture of the data tag, the QR code pulls up and it shows me all the part numbers and everything for this thing, so that's actually really cool. So just fix that wheel hub thing, and you guys gotta, I love your fans other than that. I just got done roping all this stuff over the edge of the roof. I gotta say something though. Looking at this roof across the way, this is a brand new bank that's being built right now. I was just looking at their units. Okay, more than likely the general contractor installed these, is my thought, and the electrician wired them in. So first and foremost, let's look at a couple different things. You guys see the duct detector? That's a system sensor. I think it's like an S2000 duct detector. That's not waterproof. Okay? They do make waterproof duct detectors. Or is it a system sensor? No. I can't remember who makes that one, but Air Products or something like that. But that's not waterproof. That's not their waterproof line. The next thing, look at this unit over here. Anybody see anything funky there? If you know carriers, how do you change the belt? How do you get to the electrical section to do a startup on the unit? And look at that gas line, my goodness gracious. I mean, I use flexible gas lines, but that's a 3/8 gas line, guys. They all have tiny 3/8 gas lines. But yeah, look at the clearance. I mean, good grief. They've been building this bank for a while. I've been watching them build it. That's insane.
This one was actually spread out over a little while, so I want to say that the original service call was like a month ago. We were super busy. It was like a Friday, I don't know, it was middle 8 o'clock at night. I can't remember if it was a weekend or a weekday. I don't know. But anyways, I got it working, and I actually had the manufacturer send me out the replacement wheel, and we got that within I think it took 2 or 3 weeks because they had to manufacture it. It was in the middle of the COVID crap or something. So anyways, they had to manufacture it, but I had them send it out like second day air, and it's been sitting in my shop for a couple weeks now. I just haven't had a chance to get to it. And I mean, I had it. I was ready if something was to happen again. But anyways, we got back out there, pulled it apart. I really don't think that the wheel shifted after all, like on the inside. After looking at it and after looking at the other exhaust fan next to it that was about the same age, it's doing the same thing. So I think it's just the way that it spins and that the grease is like slung off of that little hub assembly. But it was a trip, like how difficult it was to get that set screw on the top of that taper bushing or whatever you want to call that hub assembly they have. I think it's a split taper hub or something, but yeah, it was just, I was blown away with how difficult it was to get that thing tightened down. And then, so that makes sense in the first visit that you guys saw, how my long shank Allen wouldn't move it. It was able to like move it a little bit, but that was it for some reason, because it was just like barely getting into it. Because after I was looking at it, I actually found the right size, you know, and I didn't have it in the long shank. So yeah, it was a trip. That was a frustrating night, just standing there going, what am I supposed to do here? You know, because I wasn't about to pull the whole thing apart in the middle of the night. And I remember that call too, because I remember like I was kind of irritated that they had me come out. It's like 8:30 at night, and because they were in COVID, I think they were closing at like 11. So it's like by the time I got out there and by the time I finished that call, I want to say it was like 10:30 or something. Like it was just kind of like, what was the point of me coming out that night? And then yeah, but anyways. You know, it is what it is. Exhaust fans, those are one of the emergency items that we will drop everything for a customer. You know, we do what they want us to do. I mean, if they had said, you know, it's an emergency, we need you for a reach-in cooler, I'd have told them no, okay? But an exhaust fan, a walk-in cooler, walk-in freezer, something like that, those are critical. Because the exhaust fans, if they're not operating, they can't function in the kitchen. If the walk-in cooler, walk-in freezer's not operating, then their food spoils and they have to spend a bunch of money to buy new food. So those are emergency items, but... you know, we have this whole COVID thing going on, and stuff like this is difficult because when you have to order parts, it takes a lot longer to get the parts. We're struggling with that, and I know you guys are probably dealing with it all across the country, heck, probably all across the world. It just takes forever to get stuff. Something as simple as having an exhaust wheel, it took weeks to get. It's crazy, you know, but hey, I really, really appreciate you guys making it to the end of this video. If you haven't already, please consider supporting the channel. Okay, the easiest way to support the channel is to simply subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so that we get notified when I go live and videos post and all that stuff. And if you don't mind, watch the commercials. Okay, I understand. I don't expect you guys to watch those crazy commercials that people tell me about. They're like an hour long. Like, I'm not expecting anything like that. But I mean, if there's a, you know, short commercial in the video, please give it a watch, because that way once you guys watch the commercials, then YouTube pays me from that kind of stuff. So that's the easiest way. There's some other methods too: Patreon, PayPal, YouTube channel memberships. There's links in the show notes of these videos for all of that. Also have a website, hvacrvideos.com. I've got merch available on there. You guys can purchase merch if you want. If you guys are considering any tool purchases, do me a favor and check out truetech.tools.com. If you like what they have, I really do like their customer service, and they have a great stock of different types of tools for HVAC. But if you like what they have, I have an offer code, big picture, one word. It'll save you 8% on your order. And if you guys are going to be purchasing anything, shoot me an email and I can generate an affiliate link, and it'll help me out a little bit more, and you still save. You don't pay anything extra. Okay. Monday evenings, 5 p.m. Pacific, I go live on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. Just a Q&A thing, talk about these videos. And then also Fridays about 6:05 p.m. I go live on the HVAC Overtime YouTube channel. Check that out and give it a subscription too. Go live with my buddies, Adam, A-Team Adam, HVACR North, Joe, and Bill, Curious HVAC Guy, and myself. We all go live and just kind of talk about the week, talk about whatever. So come check it out, okay? Really, really appreciate you guys, and we will catch you on the next one.